Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we're talking about the role play and the behavioral activation and transformation for Pak Man. As I mentioned to you, we have the previous session in which we have gone through a number of counseling session with him, and the role play that I'm doing is the progression that he is going on. And today I'm going to talk about the situation. He is in his 10th session. This is a 10th session, and over that period he has developed quite some good responsive approach, and then we are now having a dialogue at his 10th session, slowly drawing in him towards removing his depression and having a good understanding of having a fruitful, peaceful life. Alright, and also if you notice in my previous video, I've tried to touch on the spiritual aspect. I talk about Islam and he rejected completely. So that's why you got to be very careful. You can always emphasize on his physical aspect in terms of exercise, diet, biking and so on is now. You can really emphasize on reducing his depression in terms of having multiple activities, reading and so on, and also his emotional contact with his old friends and so on. And then later on you can talk about spiritual. But since now I'm the last in the 10th session, all right, because our Pi-CBT session will be between 15 to 20 sessions. We don't go beyond that because by then they should graduate. So it's already many weeks already. So now I'm just jumping. I'm straight away going to the 10th session, and then we're going to do the role play, and then inshallah you will have an understanding of how we're going to go about with it. Okay, this is Pak Man. This is me. Assalamualaikum Pak Man, how are you today? Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, but I still feel very sad. You know, I still feel hopeless. Well, Pak Man, I see that you're still doing diligently activities, which is good. Now, this we have your latest activity chart, all right, and I can see there's a lot of progress. In a way, but you know, I still feel hopeless. This is where I think, you know, because I'm alone now. I feel this loneliness, and this loneliness is killing me. Well, inshallah, I think we all will go through life in some way or the other. Sometimes we are alone, sometimes we are with our family, but life is a cycle. All right. Some of us will return to God much earlier, some a bit later. So in your case, your wife has left you to go to the next world. And for yourself, I think you have to feel the goodness of this world in whatever way that you can. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, I just cannot get these negative thoughts, nagging thoughts, you know, that, you know, I feel like dying, I feel like dying, I feel like going away, I feel like going away, and it's repeating in my mind so very badly. It's just like some dark cloud over me all the time. So I don't know how to get rid of it. You know, you have given me some idea, but I still find no peace, no happiness. You know, I find no way out. Well, I think based on your activity now, it's not that bad actually. You're actually moving around. So I'm looking at activity now. Okay, it's good. Oh, even though you still watch a lot of TV, but your satisfaction on TV watching is only 2 or 3, which is okay. All right, you still stare out of your balcony, but now I see that you're already going down to the little playground there, and you met Johnny. Yeah, I met my old friend Johnny, and he has his two grandchild there. So as he look after his grandchild, I have some chit chat with him. I spend about half an hour with him, and I also look now you have spent about half an hour riding your bicycle around the neighborhood, and before you buy your dinner. Yeah, I'm doing that. Okay, so it is okay. I sweat it out a little bit, so I feel good about it. But as I say, I mean, generally, I'm much better than you know, over the last 10 weeks ago. But I think I still feel hopeless. Well, Pak Man, I think everybody will have sense of hopelessness from time to time. That is normal. So that would not classify in terms of being severely depressed. It could be sadness. It could be something that we feel dissatisfied with our life. But I can see the progress in you. Okay, and also see here that you have contacted Pak Amir. Yeah, I've spoken to him and invited him for tea in the afternoon. So he came over. How is your meeting with him? Alhamdulillah, it's fine. I spent 2 hours with him. We talk about the good old days, about where we go around to our football team, going to the stadium, making a row, all the good old young man thing, and also a little part of life and so on. But I see Pak Amir is much more calmer than me. Even though he's 2 years older, but he is much calmer and much more happy. Do you know why he feels much more calmer and happy? I think he still has his family intact. He has his wife, his children, his grandchildren, and he's happily managing his life. And fortunately also he got a lot of pension. I have little pension, but he has a lot more. So he don't have the financial need whatsoever. But I can see he's much happier. Do you think that Pak Amir is doing some sort of practice of Islam in whatever way? Did he talk to you about religion? Yes. He also was like me. You know, we are happy-go-lucky chap. You know, we never bother about religion. We don't even bother. But lately I can see that he is saying that he is having a friend from the mosque, Pak Jamil, who's giving his... This Jamil is also a retired headmaster. He's a retired headmaster, and he is giving some help for my friend Pak Amir to learn basics of Islam. Well, you can see that. You see that there's one route that you can take, whether you want to do it or not. But it is up to you. But you can see that Pak Amir has gone through life, and now at 70 years old, he's beginning to have some practice of Islam. Maybe he's not have the full practice of Islam, but in Islam, you do something gradually. You know, it's not something that's imposed on you. We don't say, okay, you pray 5 times a day. If not, you don't. No, it takes time. You just learn the Shahada or something like that. That sounds okay with me, but I don't think so I want to embark on it now, because I still want to find my way out in my own time. I think we understand that, Pak Ahmad. That is the way it should be. You must take your time, relax, okay, do whatever activities that you want to do, and so on. And I see also in your activity, you have your daughter have contacted you. Yes, she contacted me. She called me 5 times. I refused to call, but finally I relent. My eldest daughter, she called from Penang. So we have a long talk, and she asked for forgiveness. She was crying. I also feel like crying. Well, you see, she loves you. You see, she doesn't feel, you know, she loves you, and she feels that, you know, she owes an obligation to you, and she also feels sad that you're all alone without your wife, you know. So hopefully, you can keep contact with her. Yes, I keep contact with her now. Okay, it's only one call, but fortunately, she said, okay, let's Skype, and so I Skype with her. And my granddaughter. All right, how you feel when you Skype with your granddaughter? I feel good. You know, my granddaughter is so happy calling me grandpa, and she wants to see me. You see that? You see, can make a little trip to Penang. You don't need to impose on them. You can stay in a little hotel. Just take a trip to just go traveling a little bit, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. You just take a simple bus. You know, it's only 5 hours away by bus. You can just travel in a bus, then find a little hotel. You can book with Airbnb or book with Agora or whatever, and then stay in a hotel nearby their place, and then you can visit them for a couple of hours, and then you can bring them out outing. That sounds good. Maybe we can go to the bird park, and then I can bring my granddaughter and my daughter and her family just to spend 4 or 5 hours together. And then at other time I can go to the beach. I like to go to the sea to see all my good old days, which I was going around the country fishing. I like to see that place again. So this is good. Why not you call your first daughter, and then you try to make that arrangement. Don't impose on them. Don't say that you're staying with them, because maybe the economic situation may be that good, and they also do not want you to intrude. Their husband do not want you to intrude in their life. So in this way, you build your relationship, and you can have communication by visiting them once in a while through traveling, and also by having some outings with them. That sounds good. I think I will try to do it. But I look at it, you have not contacted your second daughter and your son. Oh, my son, forget about him. He's a different case. He has no respect for me. I don't think so. I want to call him now. Well, that's okay. If you feel that, you know, you're not ready for that, then you slowly develop some sort of relationship with your second daughter, because I'm sure she wants to contact you. I'll consider that. My daughter also told me the same thing. My eldest daughter say she also want to contact me, and she had been trying to call me a few times. Never mind, the next time when she call around, I would answer her call, and then we can have a talk. Okay, so that's good. You see, and I also see now you're reading a lot of magazine, and you put 7 for reading of magazine. that is good, you know. That means you are already slowly having more activity. You are going bicycling. You can see, I see you bicycle for 30 minutes before you buy your dinner, which is very good. Yeah, I'm sweating myself out and then I'm bicycling. So each time I bicycle, I feel good also. And I have a good exercise and then I buy my dinner. All right. So I can see that since you like, just instead of watching TV or on it, why not you do more reading? And I have some books as a loan for you. You know, I have this book. One is, I can loan you. I got hundreds of books in my library, my personal library. You see this little book called Get Well. So you can read. It's all about all the nasiha or how to keep yourself healthy, what are your diet, if you have any depression, what you want to do, and so on. And I have another book called Freedom Punishing Thoughts. Because when you are depressed, you told me that you cannot get out of that darkness of the feeling. This is some techniques that you can read. It's a little book, you know, you can read this book maybe in a day or two, and then you have a lot of techniques here for you to actually, inshallah, overcome some sort of problem in terms of your inner speech, or how to become peaceful, calm, happy, so that you then move away from depression to normalcy. And I also have this little book by my late teacher, No Islam. No obligation, you just can read this book, and then if you find that at a later date you are happy to know about this, you can contact Pak Amir, because he has his friend Pak Jamil, who is doing volunteer work in the mosque, and he's willing to teach all old people who wants to study a little bit about Islam, especially when they are 60, 70, 80 years old. And he is a very gentle, nice gentleman. He was a headmaster before, and he loves doing it at free of charge, no charge. So, and he also, you don't need to go to the mosque. He will come to your home, or you can meet in a park, or have tea in a restaurant, and then he will just give you some discussion about Islam for about 45 minutes, and that's it. There's no imposition. That sounds good, but anyway, I'll take my time. But since you're giving me this book, I'd like to borrow these 3 books and try to read as much as I can. I'm enjoying it, inshallah. All right, Pak Man. So I think that is good. Once you finish this book, I have plenty of other books to give it to you, and then we build up our connection. Because once we have circle of friends, we have less time to be remorseful, to be sad, to be depressed. We have more and more activities, and then more things for us to do, and then inshallah we'll be happy. And then with the grace of Allah, you will then be able to have a good life, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have a good life on this earth and a good life in the hereafter. And we can journey this life through the path of peace, that is Islam. All right, well, that's good anyway. I will consider about that. Since I have already known Pak Amir is already practicing. We are still, you know, happy-go-lucky guys, but now he seems to be transforming himself. I don't mind if I can just be with Pak Jamil when he is with Pak Amir, and then maybe learn something. That's good, Pak Man, and that is the way that we progress, and I see you have progressed a lot. All right, so I don't think so we need to spend a lot more time. Maybe I'll just do a few more sessions with you, and then I'm sure you're on the way to recovery and having all the joy of life which you deserve, inshallah. Thank you very much. See you again.